Welcome, everybody. I hope you're well, and welcome to the place for wisdom talks and meditation. And today we have our series Power Prayer with Acyuta Gopi. And of course, I've just seen her coming onto Instagram, just adding her there as well. And we're going to be talking about this subject. We've been doing it for the last 5 episodes, and this is the 5th episode in a row. And she's here right now. And it's so great to have you back. How are you?
I'm good. No complaints. Everything is good on my end. How are you?
Fantastic. The weather seems a bit better here, apart from some of the sad news going on around the world, like with Beirut, and that is just absolutely shocking. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it came on the heels of huge things for us. I mean, here in New York, we had like hurricane conditions. So it was like hurricane conditions one day, and then we wake up the next morning and there are explosions in other parts of the world. We're like, what's going on with the planet?
Wow. No. And I was just reflecting that everything is so temporary. So let's make the best of it, everybody. Let's make the best of it. That's all I'm going to say on that. And before we start, I can see, so yes, Nidhi Yadav, thank you for joining. Flying Rasa, my friend. He's on. He's usually in the skies. Today he is flying low. And on Ratna Manjari, Ishari, thank you, Tanvi, Radhika, Radha Agrawal, and of course, our Facebook friends as well. There's 160 of you, 167. It's going up. So I'll try and keep count. But I just want to just say thank you to the Instagram people and thank you to the Facebook people for joining today. We have Acyuta Gopi on. Somebody for me is, in these lockdowns, we've got to know each other much better. And it's like she's like a sister to me now. And we're talking about Krishna consciousness, but taking that spirituality a bit deeper. We're talking about the power of prayer. And we've done about 5 episodes on this and depicting different parts when it comes to praying. It's not just a simple thing, let's pray. It's actually, let's go into the science behind it. Let's understand it. Let's see what the scriptures talk about it. Let's see what realizations Acyuta Gopi is having. And also depict some things out of her book called Prema Mala. So that's also another thing. So anybody that wants to even check out that book, please do. It's mybook.to/PREMA, which is Prema. So that's the place to get it. And today, I was really just thinking, Acyuta Gopi, that when we talk about prayer, and I want everybody else on this, there's quite a few of you, so please do comment. I want your questions, whatever you like, bring it on. It's the best place to talk about this right now. We say about prayer, but there's something that was niggling my mind up, and that is that it's about faith. So it's great to pray, but sometimes if the faith isn't there, then that prayer doesn't really mean much. It's a very mechanical thing. And then I read something by Radhanath Swami, which was, no one lives even a moment without faith, even unconsciously. So I just wanted this aspect of faith, that how can we, to make that prayer strong, develop that type of strong faith, not that type of blind faith, but that type of faith in ourselves, that a conviction that this is the way forward. This is correct. How can we develop that? I just want to start on that, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Put it straight in there.
Definitely okay. And that quote is so appropriate. That quote is perfect, because we find that everybody lives with faith of some kind. We put our faith in so many things. We put our faith in our jobs. We put our faith in our bosses. We put our faith in medicine. We put our faith in doctors. And then we hope that they have gone to school enough. We hope that they've learned enough and that they've passed their exams enough to then take care of us. We go and we will go through a surgery. We put our lives in the hands of the surgeon, and we trust, we have faith, we hope that the anesthesiologist knows enough about his job that that person is able to put us to sleep, you know, with not too much and not too little.
Yes.
And then we have faith that the surgeon is going to do their job as they cut through different parts of us, and then they stitch us back together, they fix whatever it is, and then we have faith that we're going to wake up. We have faith every morning that, okay, we're going to wake up tomorrow, we're going to go through our day, we have plans, we have all these different things. So we live with faith. Faith is an intricate part of who we are. It's like it comes with the nature of our souls. Now we have to try and channel that faith toward Krishna, who is really controlling everything. Even though we put our faith in so many other things, the real controller, the surgeon can't do his job without Krishna. The doctor can't do his job without Krishna. Our bosses can't live without Krishna. We can't live without Krishna. No one can function without the controlling mercy of Krishna.
Just on that as well, Krishna, for if somebody here is hearing it for the first time, Krishna means the all attractive. So here we are talking about the deity Krishna, because this is Krishna consciousness that we're specifically talking about here. But this doesn't mean that if you have a faith in some other divine, that's fine. Think of it in that type of word. So, but here when the Acyuta Gopi is saying Krishna, this is what we're talking about, because that's who we are seeing as the divine. And actually on that, Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita 2.41, he mentions faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. So here, what you just said, you know, that faith in Krishna, because we can have faith in the doctors, we can have faith, but that sometimes if you think about it, like I remember when my wife was having, we were having our first child, and we're in the doctors, and the doctor said, "Oh, don't worry, trust me, we'll able to, you know, she'll be fine." They give you like cannulas and, you know, checking everything. And at that point, I don't know that person. Okay, yes, they've got a title doctor, but at the same time, I am taking a bit of a, should we say, a stab in the dark, because they tell you, hey, by the way, make sure you sign the papers in case something goes wrong, but have faith in us. We'll make sure it goes fine. So I'm just checking. Yeah, you're fine now. I was just saying that you go into the doctors, and the doctors will say, sign on these dotted lines if something goes wrong, just in case. But on that basis, we have a bit of blind faith before we have faith, isn't it? So this aspect that so they say you got to have a little bit of blind faith, a little bit of faith that you might not be completely trusting. But at the same time, when it comes to spirituality, I don't work on that basis. I don't know why. So can you just enlighten me on this? In the material world, when we have a bit of this and we don't know the person, we say, okay, yes, we trust them. The pilot, we trust them, even though we don't know them, right? But when it comes to spirituality, the faith is much more dwindled. Well, I'm not talking for everybody on here, but I'm talking just for those that may have this in their minds. So can I just ask, how can we have that little leap of faith when we don't believe at the start? How can we make it stronger?
Yeah,
okay, I'm just
remember,
checking. Did you get that? Yeah.
I did, yeah. So yeah. I remember journaling about this maybe 2 years back. And I was journaling to Krishna, and I said, you know what? I can't believe I do this. Like you said, I get on a plane. I don't even know this person, but I put my entire life in their hands. And we take off, we fly. I have faith that they're going to do their job. I take a nap, you know, like I'm so, you know, I have such faith that I can take a nap. I take it easy. I take a rest, you know, I get some rest in. I said, but I don't know this person. Why is it that when it comes to our almighty best friend, the person who's controlling the material creation, he must give me some evidence? I don't ask the pilot for his degree. Like, I don't ask the doctor, wait, let me see your credentials first. Let me see your degree first. Let me check out your transcript from college and beyond. Let me see your recommendations from residency. I don't ask for any of that. But when it comes to the Supreme Controller, I'm like, no, no, no. You're guilty until proven otherwise, you know? I need to see the hardcore evidence. I can't believe something that I can't see. We do it all the time. We're taking air into our lungs and we don't know exactly how that all works. We can't see our lungs expanding and contracting. And yet
I can't
every
see the
single
air.
day, yeah, we
I
can't
can't
see
even
the
see
air
the air.
either. We've taken the word of a scientist who says, this is how it works. Trust me, I'm a scientist. And we don't know what those scientists have done. We don't know anything about them. We don't know who these people are. We look at the faith that we put in movie stars, that we run to go and see the latest movie, right? We put our faith in them. Oh, you know, they're a good person though. How do we know? We have no idea what that person does in their spare time. And then they get into a scandal, they drive drunk and run over somebody, and then we find ourselves defending them. We defend that person that we don't know, that doesn't know us. And yet for the person who sits in our heart and knows us better than we know ourselves, we deny them that trust. We say, oh, no, 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 no. You've got to prove it to me. But aren't they proving it to us every day? Isn't the divine proving it to us every day when we wake up in the morning? Each breath that we take is a miracle. It is being proven to us every second.
That is true, because when we sleep, okay, we hit that unconscious state. We just knock out. And then next thing you know, it's the next day, and you wake up, isn't it? It's like, what was it that made us think that we'd make it to the next day? It's like it's sublime actually, in a way, when we think about that. We take it for granted. Some of these things we take for granted. They're so subtle that we don't think about it. And this is just on that as well, which really makes me think is sometimes because they're so subtle, we forget them. It's like if they're not plain view in our eyes, it's like if you keep looking at something for so long, it's like it's invisible. Like if you're in a room and there's say your headphones in the corner over there and you can see and they've always been there, it's like it just goes out of view. It's just part of it. It's like here as well. The way what you're saying is that things become so subtle that we don't think about it and we don't question it. And I like that. You're right. It's Atma, I think it's in the Bhaktivedanta Manna. I was speaking to Ian Nene. We were talking on this, and we're just talking that some things are so subtle that we just don't realize. Like, for example, when it comes to faith as well, we ourselves may, if we look to day, we may not see certain changes. But just like a movie reel, when you see if you see a cartoon, like they have those illustrations, you have, and if you look at it, there are pages and pages. So from one page to the other, there's no change really. You can't see it, but there is a change. But when you see the 100th page to the first page, you'll see a massive change. And similarly here, when it comes to faith, that sometimes it's so subtle that we won't see it, we won't feel it. But actually, give it time, and then we'll realize, oh my God, yes, it was this. I have developed faith in this because this and this has happened. So just, does that, yeah.
This is exactly what Srila Prabhupada says within the whole second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that we are changing bodies, right? And we don't see it because the change is so subtle, but all of a sudden, we look different. We sound different. We've got fine lines and wrinkles that start to develop. Gray hairs start to develop, but our bodies have changed. We have changed bodies. And Srila Prabhupada says, but the difference is so subtle that we pretend as though it doesn't exist. And so that's the thing with faith. It is belief in that which we cannot see. And we exercise it every day. And so many people, oh, I can't have faith. Yeah, well, you do every day, because nobody says, oh, I can't see gravity, so I don't believe in it. Let me just jump out the window. No one says that. They're like, oh, let me use my intelligence. And the scientists have said that gravity works. Now, I can't see it, but somehow I'm putting faith in these scientists that I don't know. The scientists don't know me. I have no idea if they have my best interest at heart. These scientists could be complete and total, like, cruel human beings.
That's true.
They could be living entities that we'd never want to associate ourselves with, but we take their word for it. But Krishna, our divine friend, the divine spiritual energy permeating everything, we say, you know what? I think, though, you've got to, change my mind. Convince me. And the divine's like, you woke up. You're still here. You're breathing right now. You're talking, you're walking. All of these things are blessings, and we kind of overlook them, like, oh, well, that's normal. Normal life is a blessing. There are people in Beirut, their normal lives are completely changed.
Tell me about it. Just overnight.
Yeah. And who can they put faith in? Could they have put faith in science? No one could have predicted it. But there is one person who knows everything. And they say across all faiths, it is a common saying that not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the supreme divine personality.
That's it. That's the part that belief has to be there, and has to be so strong that we can actually resonate with it, and that's where the faith will come. But just on that, because you talked about some crisis like Beirut and that, and Krish Sharma has asked a very good question on this, and she says, sometimes when we are aware that Krishna is taking our test, he wants us to make fireproof, so he wants us to pass it, but sometimes there is some doubt, and because of that we are not able to pray so well. Please enlighten us on this topic, that how we can develop constant faith. So what we're talking about here is like, yes, it's developing faith, but sometimes it can, because we're human beings, our faith will be tested, right now in Beirut. I'm sure faith is being tested. So many calamities are happening. Our faith is going to be tested. Here she's saying, how to have constant faith. Please enlighten us. And I just want to just also add to this, if I can, is that what Radhanath Maharaj said? He said that when we face difficulties and still remain faithful to God and Guru, we access infinite mercy of their hearts. Okay? Now that, I just want to say it again. When we face difficulties...
Can you say it again for the people in the back?
When we face difficulties and still remain faithful to God and Guru, we access the infinite mercy of their hearts. Okay? It's so just on here about constant faith. We are talking about ourselves here. How do I get faith? How can I? But we're not looking at it from the other side of what that faith is reciprocating to the divine, to the Guru, how that's helping. Just please, your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I love how you said we don't look at it from the other view. It's like your child, and we see this with kids a lot, right? Kids, especially under the age of 5. They will do the most incredible stunts. They like climb up to the top of a couch and then they leap. Yeah. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, mine does that.
Exactly. You know why they do that?
Please.
Because they know their parents never let them fall. They've never just fallen flat on their face. So as long as the parent is there to catch them, because the parent is like, whoa, what are you testing this for? And the kid's like, oh, this is just my normal behavior because my dad, my mom always catches me. This is what happens. I leap off the couch. My parent catches me. And that is the faith of a child. That is the innate faith that we come programmed with. We are programmed with faith. Our souls come with faith integrated in the processing system, right? You get a computer, it's like already integrated with its processor. The soul comes integrated with faith already. And then we look at life and we go, oh, well, life didn't go my way, the way I thought. So that's a test of faith. Whoa. We don't know what the whole picture looks like. We don't know what everything looks like. We can't see the 360-degree view. We can't see how a greater miracle is being prepared for us just beyond what looks like a huge obstacle. And we look and we're like, oh, well, this house got completely burned down. Why would God do that to me? And I'm like, yeah, but what if he's preparing you for a mansion? Then we kind of look a little spoiled, isn't it? Like we kind of look like, oh, God, why would you do that to me? And he's like, I'm working things out here. Just give me a minute. It takes time to manipulate all the laws of the universe in your favor. So we have to be careful not to block our very own blessings. And my sister tells me this all the time. Like there are times when I'm like, oh, I'm not having a good day. I don't know it. And she's like, hey, listen, don't block your blessings. Don't stand in the way of what Krishna is preparing for you by saying, oh, but I don't want to trust your plan. Who knows what your plan is? I've been waiting so long for my plan, whatever I think is best. But my intelligence can only go but so far. I can't say I'm the most intelligent being in the universe. I'm not psychic like some other beings. I can't levitate like some people. I can't, use telepathy and mind control like some people. But I know someone who is the most intelligent person. I know someone who can manipulate the entire material creation. And that person is my friend. That person is actually the person on the other side who's like, oh my gosh, you just leaped off here. Now let me catch you. And for 3 seconds, we feel like, oh, I'm falling. You get that feeling where the bottom of your stomach drops out and you're like, oh, what did I just do? But meanwhile, we don't see that the hand of God is waiting to catch us. Just 3 seconds. Just give it a minute. Just waiting to catch us. So how can we have that constant faith? Well, calamities are going to be constant. Yes. Whether we ask for them or not, they're going to come. That is the way of this creation. I don't care if you are God. Sri Ram faced calamities his entire life. And he was perfect. Right? Like, I'm not perfect, but Sri Ram was. He's God. Even God did not have an obstacle-free existence. So what can I hope for me? So how can we have constant faith? Well, we're going to be tested constantly. Do we want to just rely on our own puny strength?
Yes, that's a good point. We all, like what they say is, the only thing that's constant is change. This is something I think in this COVID situation has made even the faithless understand that this is what it's about, that everything will change. We cannot control that. And I think that's the part. I'm just checking. I'm looking at your, hopefully it'll start to come back. But while we're just waiting for Acyuta Gopi on Insta, I just want, okay, yeah, she's back. She's back. There she is. I can see her. She can hear me. Can you hear me?
I think we
on Instagram. Can you hear me on Insta? No.
Yeah, it's a little bit frozen. And now.
So I'm just going to take her off and bring you back on Instagram, and we will carry on. Just bear with me a second. So just on that point, everybody, while we just bring Acyuta Gopi back, I just want your comments, your questions. I'm seeing so many coming through, and I'm going to hopefully we can go through some of these as well. So let me just try and get Acyuta back. There she is. Let's try this out. See, we're having faith in technology. I always say that. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we're back.
Oh, hey, we're back. Excellent. See, I had faith. I had faith you'd be back. There we go. What I'm just looking. We got loads of people saying, "Oh, we got full of something on." Lovely discussion. I love it, Shil. Lovely the name. Radhanath. And that's not Radhanath Swami, that's Radhanath Mataji coming on. She goes, Hare Krishna. Such an insightful discussion. How do I encourage my children to develop faith? We'll be coming on to that as well. And we've got your words taste like nectar. Subtle footprints has said that. So there we go. We got the British Hindus on as well. Thank you, British Hindus, for joining. Really, really appreciate your support. Babita.
Didn't they call you a hero? Weren't you named a hero? Hey!
Oh. No, that was very kind of them. Freezed at the right point. It freezed at the right point there. So no, and also Shilin, thank you very much. And also I just want to something came to mind. Gaur Gopal Prabhu, who's amazing. Gaur Gopal Das, he said something that if you are a person that does not have faith, okay, and it's understandable, do this. He said this: feed your faith, your doubts shall starve to death. Feed your faith, your doubts shall starve to death. It's like a good dog and a bad dog. Let's just feed that good dog. Let's take that forward. So if you guys are feeling faithless, and there's a lovely track, I remember when I was young listening to that. I Ain't Got No Faith, it was called. It was quite cool. Feed your faith, your doubt shall starve to death. I just wanted to just highlight that. It's so important that we see that. So it's just been this, while talking to you, I don't know, you just bring out the great stuff. Thank you so much. Today, I'm feeling more faith. So I appreciate that, the Acyuta Gopi, from you. I just want to bring on now, because I know one thing I want to say is we've got to make sure we got time for kirtans. So I'm going to be looking at that clock. We want a longer kirtan. A lot of people are saying they wanted a longer kirtan this time. So we'll go to that. So just blessings you talked about blessings. I think we'll do a session on how to capture blessings. That should be the next part as well. I've made a note of that because I think that is so important, how we capture. So now we talked about faith, and I think you made really good points on this, to how to help us and understand the difference between material nature and the spiritual nature, and how the divine is like, we have faith in all these material professions. Why don't we have faith in the divine? And yes, calamities will come. You said this. And then I mentioned that the only thing that's constant is change. So we have to be in that type of mindset that these things will happen. This world is known as Dukhalayam, which means full of misery. I'm sorry to say, it's known as Dukhalayam. Don't feel sad about it. Don't worry, guys. This is like the Matrix. We are here to give you that pill that unplugs you and makes you realize that this world is not. It can be what you want it to be, but also remember there is calamities. So let's just have that green pill, I think it was, on that. But I've got a question here. See, we say about praying, and then we say we have faith. Okay, so prayer without faith is just like nonsense. It's just illusion. It's not going to help. It's been in ignorance. So can I ask the question? Because what does come first, though? Prayer or faith? Because it's like chicken or the egg. Because if you don't have some faith, prayer doesn't have much meaning. If you pray but you don't have faith, it's still. And so, which one comes first? How can we, or do they both have to happen? What's your solution on this?
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada says, and I think it's in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he talks about faith. And he talks about the fate of the faithless and those who do not have faith, and how they cannot progress in spiritual consciousness. And he says, where does this faith come from? Like, what is the secret of all this faith? And the secret is association with devotees. So we can have all of the philosophy. We can have all of this, but it first starts with that good association. Finding that spiritual tribe. Finding that collection of great souls who can empower you. Those souls who can give you some of their faith. Those souls who can help you feed your faith. And then once you have faith, then Srila Prabhupada says that you can progress in spiritual consciousness. Otherwise, you might hear so many things about the divine. But if you've got no faith, you leave, because we come for so many different reasons. Oh, I want this. I want this. And as soon as our wants, our needs are fulfilled, we leave it. So how do we stay in it for the marathon? How do we go for the long haul? How do we get that faith that keeps us inspired for our lifetime? That comes from that association. So whether it's on a virtual association like we have right here, whether you can associate in person, whether you are watching a YouTube video, you must find that tribe. Find those people that can help you feed your faith, because they are like, they're explained like desire trees. They will help you. They will give you everything that you've been looking for, because they know, they have faith in Krishna. And when that awakens, like you said, it's belief in something sublime. And when we get in touch with that sublime nature, our whole lives start to change. Our whole outlook and perspective starts to change.
There you go. So guys, have the faith. And actually just some really good questions are coming in. Oh, Queen Rads also just said, really nice thing. I just want to give her a shout. She said, my dad always says that the holy name is the vaccine we need. That's very nice, Queen Rads. I think South Africa, if I'm correct, you're from. Please correct me. But yeah, thank you for that. And I also, Abe's put a really good point. I think this solidifies that point that Radhanath Maharaj said, no one lives even a moment without faith, even unconsciously. He puts, we can't survive without faith, either on spirituality scriptures, he's put in brackets, which is always constant, in brackets, never changing, or on science, which is ever evolving. So it's always a better deal to be always faithful to Vapu and Vani. Vapu mean the physical association, and Vani meaning the instructions. So a guru giving the instructions and the physical association of guru. So thank you so much, Abe. It's really kind of you to put that. And I've got Ritu, who asks a fantastic question. I love this. Does faith come from Krishna as well? Doesn't he have to sanction that in you as well? So does it come from Krishna? And does he have to sanction that we can have faith in him?
Yeah, and one of the most profound statements in Bhagavad Gita for me was that Krishna himself says that everything within the living entity, all qualities, both good and bad, come from him. And I was like, wait, whoa, what?
Both, yeah, the good and bad.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
Yin and yang.
Yeah, there is nothing that does not come from Krishna. So it's like, doesn't he have to sanction that? So then I ask you a question, right? We are coming at this from thinking, okay, just this one life I've been living. No, we are souls. Intrinsically, we are parts and parcels of Krishna. Intrinsically, we are not even supposed to be having these human experiences. We are always with Krishna. We are supposed to be with Krishna. So our existence is filled with faith. It's our forgetfulness.
Love it.
So yes, doesn't that faith have to come from Krishna? Yeah, but we have to remember, because that faith is already there. It's not something we need to acquire. It's something we must reclaim. It is already ours. faith and love of Krishna, Krishna's own love, is just something we are reclaiming. It is ours by right. Right?
Ooh.
It's already ours. That's right. These are our rights. This is our inheritance. We already have it. Now it's just up to us to reclaim it.
There we go. It's our inheritance. We just have to reclaim it, guys. So let's reclaim it. Queen Rads, thank you. Yes, I was right. You are from South Africa. Woohoo. I got that one right. Cambridge Casey Sock, nice to have you on. So our lovely Cambridge University students are on today. I want to see some lovely quotes coming from you guys. So he says, they're saying intrinsically, we are not meant to be having a human experience. We are meant to be with Krishna. So we'll be having a spiritual. So what's that saying? They say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings having a spiritual experience. So I think that's what they're trying to go on this, right?
It's the same topic of I don't have a soul. I am a soul and I have a body.
That's it. So this thing about faith, it's intrinsically connected because we have a soul. And if you have a soul, you have the right because you have a spiritual spark inside yourself that's connecting you to the Supreme already. So this is what I find beautiful about spirituality. And that is this aspect that we say we are the spirit soul. And as soon as we say we're the spirit soul, that soul belongs somewhere. And that soul belongs to the divine. In this case, we're calling Krishna. So we all have that spiritual spark in ourselves. And that also reminds us that in the world, we need to be compassionate to everyone because everybody has that spiritual spark in them. So something to remember, guys, when next time you see somebody that you think, you know what, I really don't like that person. Or that person's just put a Facebook bomb comment on my post. Just think to yourself, and I'm thinking this myself as well, is that everybody is a spirit soul. So love everyone. So I'm going to nearly come to an end soon because we want some kirtans. But something I wanted to just share with everyone. To lose money, prestige, health, or even itself, even life itself is not such a loss. To lose faith is the greatest loss. So to lose money, prestige, health, or even life itself is not such a loss. To lose faith is the greatest loss. That is from Radhanath Swami. So yeah, I've just been so inspired. It just sometimes we think ourselves, oh my God, COVID's affected me in this way. This has happened, that's happened, this has happened. Even life itself is not a loss. Faith is what we need. Having the association, even if it's just like you said, internet or listening to the Vani, remember the instructions. In this case, Radhanath Swami is speaking and we listen to classes. It just puts into we're so lucky in that way that we have that association, that we got that type of higher knowledge to really make us think, you know what, don't get so fried out with all because maybe you're losing your job or this is happening or that's happening. Just keep the faith. And when we mean keep the faith in Krishna. It's just, you got to keep the faith.
And that really is the most important thing. And it's such a heavy quote sometimes to even to wrap our minds around, loss of wealth, loss of prestige, loss of life itself. But we think about it, and like I said, we are coming at it from the perspective of, I just have this one life. But there's more after that. There's more after that. And so many people, we never take the moment, we never take a breath to look beyond that. And even they say, cancer patients, so many people suffering from so many different medical ailments, they'll keep the fight going. And that will be the thing that cures them over and above all the medication and medical procedures. But when they lose the fight, when they lose that faith, when they lose that belief, it's like no medicine can help them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've experienced my mum's sister and even my mum's grandma, my mum's mother. But I physically remember my mum's sister. She had a battle against cancer, and she had the faith that she'll get through. I remember the first time around, what you just said, it's so true that we lose the faith. That's it. And the first time around, she fought it, and she, it was good. It went into recession. The second time it happened and it came back, she lost the faith. And of course, the cancer won. So it's this thing that we cannot lose faith. If we lose everything, don't lose the faith, guys. And this is so important. Things will hit rock bottom. And trust me, they will. And if you want to talk about it, no worries. You can contact Acyuta Gopi. You can contact myself, Jagannath_Dasa. We will be there. We will support you, even if it's virtually. But just remember, don't lose faith. It's so important. I've seen so many situations where faith is lost, and even spiritually, when faith is lost, it just, the person themselves, they even come out of spirituality only to later, 5-10 years down the road, realized that what the hell did I do? And then then started reintegrating back. So, that it's a big thing. So remember this quote: to lose money, prestige, health, or even life itself is not such a loss. To lose faith is the greatest loss. This is just something that we want to share with all of you here.
There was a great preacher by the name of Bhakti Tirtha Swami.
Yes.
And he was suffering from an advanced cancer that had metastasized and done all kinds of things. And I was there, and he conducted the end of his life in such a public way.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I remember was so poignant, because I was at a point in my life where I was about 20.
Okay.
And I remember thinking...
And she's 25 now, everybody, just so if you're wondering.
And I remember thinking, I've been born and raised a Krishna devotee, but what is it about this Krishna that keeps everybody coming back? What about it? What is it? This spark of faith that I'm supposed to find, that's supposed to propel me into saying, all right, that's it. I got to dive in head first my whole life. I'm like, what is it? And then I saw the end of his life. And one of the most amazing things was he had cancer tumors all over his body. He was suffering. He was in pain. There was no getting better from this, and he knew it. So he knows that he's facing the end of his life, looking down that tunnel of, for us, would be the unknown. And the most important quote he said to Radhanath Maharaj, he said, I know where I'm going, and I would not change my position for anything in the world.
Wow.
Looking at his faith, and that's how I know that Srila Prabhupada is right when he says, you need the association of devotees, because that faith changed my life. His faith was what made me say, okay, that's it. I've got to dive in head first and give my life to this process, no matter what. Because it wasn't about, it wasn't about, if I get better, then Krishna, I'll have faith in you. He was looking at it knowing this is the end of my life. But he said, I know where I'm going. He knew of an existence that was going to be even sweeter. And he said, I wouldn't even change my position with tumors and pain and suffering. I wouldn't change it. Not for anything in the world.
That's and that just puts into perspective. At the time of death, we all get tested, and here you've got someone that's having slow death, so it's all in slow motion, and still their faith is there so strong. And that shows that to me. You're right. We're so lucky to have these type of inspiring saints that have come on this earth that have helped us to see how to live. And I that's one thing I'm so grateful for. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, my God. And even Srila Prabhupada, even what happened is his final days, he's lying there and his body is completely dead, but still his mouth can speak. So he kept on giving wisdom, spiritual wisdom to those that were there all the time until his last breath, because he knew to lose money, prestige, health, or even life itself is not such a loss. To lose faith is the greatest loss. And they're practicing what they're preaching. That's the thing, guys. So let's remember that. And if you ever want to have any reference when you're losing faith, then think of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. But if you haven't heard of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, check out Google Bhakti Tirtha Swami. How do you spell Tirtha? I just want to make sure. Is it T-I-R-T-I-R? So Bhakti Tirtha, so Tirtha Swami, and check him out and check what he did. He'll inspire you and you go, my God, I have faith now because I've seen it through this person. It's like the same that I may have not seen Krishna, but I have somebody that I feel so connected to that I have so much faith that they've seen Krishna. So of course I want to follow that person. And this is the thing, guys, that sometimes our limited understanding, limited beliefs, don't let that limit us in actually understanding something much more deeper. Connect with somebody that has it, somebody that can take us there. And this is what Acyuta Gopi at the age of 20, she's talking about, that she saw this happen physically, and that just gave her that faith that, my God, that this is definitely the way forward. It's been a thank you for sharing. And I'm seeing so many people. Top Ket 108 says, this woman is pretty cool. Annie Ketka agreed. Lowercase Gopi, you are awesome. Thank you for sharing the story. And Dharma Shakti, and she does lovely. I know Dharma Shakti does really great sessions online. Check her out if you get a chance. She says, to lose faith is the real loss. Totally needed this message right now in this moment. We're so happy you joined us, and this is why we do it. So thank you, everybody. Wow, isn't that amazing? So thank you so much. I think if it's okay with you, we definitely need some kirtan from you. That will boost our faith even more. Please, could we have some kirtan, Acyuta Gopi?
Absolutely. But before,
and while Acyuta Gopi, yeah, please.
I have to put my brother on the spot, because you are doing amazing things on Saturdays just to boost the faith of other people. Can you take a second and just tell us what you were doing on Saturdays?
So on Saturdays, I'll be speaking to Prabhupada disciples, so direct descendants of Srila Prabhupada, like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, as you just heard, Acyuta Gopi. These are direct disciples of Srila Prabhupada, which this movement that we are connected to is based upon. Through him, we are trying to understand Krishna. So every Saturday, I am speaking to different Prabhupada disciples. So I had, the first session was last Saturday, and we had His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on. And this Saturday coming, we'll be having Bob Cohen. So this person actually was the one, if you've ever read The Perfect Question, Perfect Answers, and I know Cambridge Casey Sock, you have a lot of copies of it. He's the person that actually had the discussion with Srila Prabhupada, which was then turned into a book. So I'll be having him coming on. And then after that, it's been confirmed, we're going to have Malti Prabhu. She is an influential, amazing leader in our movement, and she'll be on the week after. So we've got, I won't tell every single one, but these are some. But thank you for that. And also, before we have kirtans, if you are liking the realizations that Acyuta Gopi is coming out with, I just want everybody to check out her book, Prema Mala, because these realizations that she's having are also captured in her book. She is getting these realizations through this type of deep meditation that she's been having with the divine, and then she's captured them in this book. So please check it out. It's if you want to get your copy, it's www.mybook.to/prema. That's PREMA. So please do check that out. And please, could we have some kirtan?
Absolutely. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Radhe Govinda Jaya, Radhe 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 Govinda Jaya Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Govinda Jai. Beautiful, beautiful. I just had a question come up. Navya 3040. She said, "Where are you guys from?" So I'm from the UK, and Acyuta Gopi is from the US. So from Queens, and I'm from Birmingham. Well, near Birmingham. I'm from Redditch. We're from Worcestershire, the Shires. So this is where we are. Thank you so much for that lovely kirtan. So deepful. It's very nice. And I've just seen something from Rajni Aurora. She said, "I request please use Hindi. We would love to use Hindi, but our crowd is from everywhere in the world. That's why we use English, Rajni. I do apologize. Maaf karo." so sorry about that. But also, everybody, I just want to say thank you for joining today. Another session with the amazing Acyuta Gopi. I've increased my faith. I hope you have all too. And if you missed any of this, don't worry. It's available. It's going to be available on IGTV. 15 minutes from now, I'm going to upload it there. And I want you to come onto the page. So Jagannath_Dasa. And if you like, give us a follow. And then at the same time, please like this video and share it. And if you don't have Instagram and you feel like I don't like social media, no problem. You can come onto the YouTube channel, which is Jagannath Space Dasa, and we will have it there as well. So please check those two places out. And also, if you want to connect with Acyuta Gopi, please do. She's on, her Instagram handle is lowercase.gopi. Okay, so lowercase.gopi. And on Facebook, she's also there as Acyuta Gopi. So that's ACYUTA GOPI, just in case. I always made that mistake. And please check her book out. It's mybook.to/Prema. That's the place. So thank you so much again, sister. I'm so happy to we're having these discussions. This association, this sangha is so needed, and I'm very thankful to have your association. Like, you know, and please everybody tune in next week and check what we'll be talking about. It'll be something to do with blessings. So please, you'll be blessed. Come and join us. It's about blessings. So on that note, I will leave you all. And Acyuta Gopi, any final words from yourself before we move on?
I am just so grateful to have been a part of this. Thank you so much to my dear brother, my dear friend. You've strengthened my faith. I love your quotes. I think you need to put them up on the little screen more so that we can write them down and remember them. Thank you for doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. Take care.